Australia. Oh, he's hit this one, Miles. Great shot. Oh, it's a biggie. Straight over the top. Kohli drives through the covers. It's into the fence like a tracer bullet.
Okay, there is a smile in all of our three faces, but I don't know if it's a smile because we kind of somewhere predicted that, the weaknesses of India will get exposed at some stage, and it did. Is it a smile because we are trying to hide our disappointment? Is it a smile that Pakistan won, which we never wanted? Nevertheless, an excellent game of cricket. No one can deny that. The match going almost until the last ball. Very close match. Both the teams throughout the match, throughout the 40 overs, actually had moments that they could have sealed the game off, but it was Pakistan for a change have kept their nerves, hold on to their nerves, and got their team through. They won by I think 5 wickets, right? So brilliant, brilliantly done by Pakistan. I know we're going to talk a lot about India, but before that, Devankur, what do you think Pakistan did this time to win and chase such a big total and win a match like this?
I've got two words for you. Mohammad Nawaz.
Okay.
Surprised all of a sudden. Yeah, I mean, his innings actually was a game changer. When he had come down, nobody had expected. Even Fakhar was, finding it difficult. Of course, he had hit a couple of boundaries of Chahal and everybody, but he was also finding it difficult to move. But Mohammad Rizwan did play really well up top. He was making, the scoreboard. He was helping the scoreboard take along. And when Mohammad Nawaz entered and the way he took the bowling apart, he hit everybody for boundaries for that matter. That took us a little by surprise. Maybe we didn't know it's a very big surprise element of Mohammad Nawaz. He didn't even play the last 2-3 games for Pakistan. And when he came out, he was not, he did not show this kind of a form. So for me, the major difference was a surprise package in Mohammad Nawaz, who bowled well also. I mean, when we come to that point, he also bowled well. So he was the turning point for me today.
Yeah, and I was actually coming to that point as well. So for a change in the Asia Cup, it's no more a Babar show, which means the others down the line is getting an opportunity. Barring the Hong Kong game, even Fakhar Zaman didn't score too much. In fact, he had the lowest strike rate today, as I see. But Gopal, the players who came down the order hold on to their reputation of hitting it big. Not only against the Minnows, they've done it against India today as well.
Yes, Shanton. I mean, it was actually a clinical performance. Given, I mean, that change, that idea of bringing Mohammad Nawaz in between at number 4, which clicked actually for Pakistan because it was a surprise package. I mean, as Devanko said, nobody expected him to do it, and what did he prior to this match? His highest score in T20 was around 30, if I recall it correctly. Today he scores 42 of 19 balls. Smacking everybody, and it was at such a crucial junction of the game, wherein probably Pakistan wanted some. I think he came in at a given point of 10 overs, something of 114, 120 was required. 15 overs.
He came at 63 for 2 when it was 8.4 overs done,
which is 120 in 12, and 10 required. And from there on, he was actually scoring 10-run over. Consistently hitting either a boundary or a 6 every over. So he calculated the innings very well. And of course, we all know that the last guy who came in and smashed sixes, he can also bat. I mean, not that they're also not chokers. And you had Shadab Khan who's yet to come into the picture itself. So and what made this innings of Nawaz even more important was it allowed Rizwan to take a bit more time. He was probably 1 or 2 dot balls. He was not under pressure, and he was also hitting them. I mean, some of the sixes. I mean, there are 2 sixes that Rizwan hit. Both of them were absolute fire off distances. So I mean, that was a good move. And I mean, to say the least, yes. I mean, Pakistan did achieve a clinical chase today.
And Devanku, I know there are so many things to talk about, but first things first, this pitch was a belter, right? And then the commentator spoke through it. You got such a start, then ending at 180 runs, that too lucky in the last over. you think you're 20 runs short straight away, right?
I would say 40 runs with the way we had started off. The way we had started off with Rohit and even Rahul. I mean, Rahul looked in sublime form today. The way he was, opening his bat and hitting those over extra cover sixes, it showed that Rahul is back into his form. When Kohli came, Kohli was also showing the intent. I mean, you could see Kohli's strike rate didn't go down below 140 for the entire innings. But what
Almost, yes.
yeah, but what happened with the rest of the other batsmen were like they are taking it too easy for me. I thought, Hardik has gotten into this god mode, like he thinks himself to be the best Indian cricketer right now. So he has to come up from that pedestal. He considers himself to be the best player who's playing in international cricket right now. He has to, somehow get that attitude off his back. I know he's a great athlete. He can do wonders. But that thought, that little ego in him, that I am, currently the best cricketer in India or maybe international.
But what shows you this ego? I know you mentioned this point before in one of the meet. But what shows this ego? Because he otherwise looks very cool, calm, composed. He has delivered. What is it that again? I mean, because and then probably this is a little where I disagree with you. Where does he show that ego?
No. See, there's a point of disagreement. I'm not saying that he shows it every.
But no. I mean, see, I want to understand. What in of course, we do not hear the dressing room talks and all. We only see what the cameras shows us. Where do you feel that? Yes, it was.
Okay, there are two things.
Bad luck that he has. Yeah.
Yeah, two things that I would say. One is his entire journey as a cricketer right now. One is the way that where he keeps on coming in interviews and saying that whatever I do, I feel is correct. The way that he handles his cricket personally, which gives you an indication that he thinks himself to be over the coaching staff or the management or whatever. And today also, when he was bowling his third or the fourth over, even the final over, what Rohit was telling to him and the way he was, counter punching Rohit, good thing to see that. You see a young bowler who is actually ready to take on his own field. But after getting the boundaries, he was still reacting in the sense that it was not a bad ball. You have your third man up, you have your short point up, and you're still bowling short pitch outside off stump, which is not getting up because this was not the same pitch. You could actually see, I mean, the last pitch that India and Pakistan came on, it had live grass on it. If not live, it was a bit grassier than this one. So when the ball was not coming out onto the bat and the bounces were not being that effective, why not change your whole length altogether? You see Bhuvi stuck onto the same thing. When he came down for his third over, he bowled that again, back, kind of the leg cutter ball to Asif Ali. Asif Ali was just waiting for it. He just hit.
You mean the fourth over? You mean the fourth over? Third over was actually a good one.
Final over, yes. So
that's final over.
Yes, very good.
And in fact, and coming to that point, in fact, in that final over, he bowled 2 Yorkers and both of them went for single runs.
Right.
Gopal, you typically in these kind of match scenarios, when you have last 2 overs, 26 runs out of 12 balls, you bowl your best bowler the 19th over, right?
Absolutely.
Which means you try to get a wicket, maybe contain them for less number of runs, and then you give the other bowler who probably is not your preference the last over, give him the maximum cushion. Is that something that Rohit got it wrong, or did he feel that Arshdeep might be a little down, he dropped the catch, and why Bhuvi against Arshdeep?
I mean, your point is extremely valid. 19th. I mean, if Bhuvi would have bowled that over and it would have probably given say 5 or 6 runs, it was Arshdeep to defend 20, and probably with the Yorkers that we have seen for Arshdeep and the way he has bowled in IPL matches and in the second, I mean, the T20 international matches that he has played, you would 99 out of 100 times you would actually assume that Arshdeep will defend those 20 runs. But yeah, I mean, it was a right move. I don't think it was a wrong move. It just that the execution completely went wrong. I mean, that 6 was a big hit from Asif Ali, and also 19 runs in that crucial juncture is too much of a job. The other thing that what would have happened, Shantan, is that having dropped a catch by Arshdeep in the previous over, if he comes and bowls, I mean, he could have got smacked for another 26 runs, and the last over would have got probably immaterial.
Yeah, so, I mean, come on, you can always say that it's not easy, and if your bowler gets smacked for 26 runs in an over, he must have bowled poor, and he is picked for being a last over specialist. Even Bhuvi few years ago used to really bowl Yorkers well. I'm so surprised that is it the scoop shot that They start thinking, if that is so, be it, keep a fine leg. The other thing, and we'll come to the drop catch at the last, because these things happen. On a lighter side, all I can say is, India found its own Hassan Ali, right? Getting the taste of the medicine, that all the memes and everything got created. But we know that these things happen. You cannot control that. But again, I think when you look at the match today, right? There were almost 20 runs given as a gift to India out of this 181. You had two bounces bowled, which
Bowled wide, which
Rizwan
went
could
for
not
wide.
catch,
Went for
and
wide,
then
yeah.
went
And then
for 4
two,
runs.
2-4.
And then those last 7 runs, went for 4 as well. Still 7 batters. What is wrong with the approach? This is the approach we all wanted, Devankur, right? We wanted them to play positive cricket. We wanted one player to play an anchor role. But what is it that is wrong? Because now what's happening is you're risking to lose too many wickets in by the 15th, 16th over, which means you're not going to go for those full-blooded
Sacrifice in the last
shots and risky shots in the last 4 overs. So what's wrong with the approach?
See, I think one thing that we missed out on was we stacked up with 7 attacking batsmen. Absolutely fine. Rahul and Rohit did up top well. Absolutely fine. But Pant is not a middle order batsman I think can play against spinners. You can put him for the 18th and 19th over when you're definitely going to get pacers who might miss a couple of their length balls and he can hit it for 6. Pant is not made for, and I understand why Pant was sent was for that right and left combination, because we didn't have Jadeja in the mixed run. So sending up Pant was actually something which was a kind of a wrong calculation. Sky, again, as we have currently pointed out, he's somebody who looks amazing when you're playing against, inconsequential teams. But when it comes to crunch matches like this, even in the last Pakistan match, he looked out of sorts. That shot, everybody was saying that it got a top edge, and he was, somehow if he could have hit. There were many ifs and buts. But the ball before that also, he tried sweeping it. It bounced on him. So when he was bouncing and it was going away, it was a very difficult shot to execute. But he plays that well. When he had come down, opened the face of the bat and hit Mohammad Nawaz over the extra cover, he hit a boundary like that, and he started off the over that way. So why could it? I mean, since he's a 360 player and he thinks with his, he's a thinking cricketer. I would have expected him to play that shot because of the previous sweep that he had missed, and he was hitting on the longer side of the boundary. So somehow or the other, aggression is well taken. People are playing aggressively. That is very well understood. But execution somehow or the other is going wrong, and that is where somebody has to think, stop there, think, and then start it.
Yeah, I can't agree more with you. I think probably, while you want them to play aggressive shots, somewhere, your top 3 middle orders or the people who have been performing did not perform today, right? Sky, Pant, and Pandya, right? So I think that's where India would have wanted to start hitting a little bit early than what they actually did, and that's where those 10-15 runs short. What about Rizwan? I think he paced his innings beautifully. This guy is a live wire, plays with a lot of energy, and you can see that injury, right? That thud that he gets, those actually take, it takes that confidence out for you to sprint and again get. But he played in this heat. Even Kohli got cramps, right? But this guy is something else, right? I mean, he keeps delivering match after match after match, and these are pressure matches. These are not normal matches. So a word on his innings, Gopal. 51 runs. 51 balls, 71 runs. A strike rate of close to 140 runs.
He's an unbelievable cricketer Pakistan has got, Shantan. I mean, Pakistan should be proud to have him as a wicket-keeper batsman, and ensure that he's in the right track. He's an absolutely awesome player, a very, very positive mindset player. And as you rightly said, despite the injury, he could have easily walked out of the field, got a substitute, kept the match as a substitute, and then probably batted slogged, and then maybe would have got out also. But the intent of him, the role that Pakistan management has given to him to play around the entire team was pretty clear, and he was playing. He was batting beautifully. And even, if you look at it today, also he's a top scorer. There's a stat that came in, which was that in the last 7 T20 matches, Rizwan has actually top scored for Pakistan in the last 6 matches. So that's the consistency that Rizwan is delivering in the top of the order. His strike rate might come up, as a question mark in some of the matches. But I thought today I mean, he paced his innings brilliantly.
Yeah.
Nawaz innings also helped him to pace that innings. But I mean,
Yeah.
nothing to take away from Rizwan today.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. I think also, Devankur, I think, when you talk about losses like this, and probably we go back a little bit further, and we think of the squad, that 15-man squad that has been picked. You play people like Bishnoi and Huda and all, who do not come with a lot of match practice. They probably toured and traveled with you, and that's probably the downside. There are a lot of upside of trying to create a bigger squad, but that's the downside, where you come up on crunch matches and you get players. In fact, Vishnu did well, but the likes of Huda and others would have wanted a little bit of.
Lost you,
We
Shanta.
spoke about the. Sorry, are you able to hear me?
Yeah. You're back now.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I know we were not very impressed with the squad when we spoke. You were happy with the team given the opportunities or the options that you had today?
See, I mean, when we were discussing about the team sheet, I had mentioned almost a similar kind of a team, except for the fact that I either wanted Akshar Patel in place of Chahal and Bishnoi there. So that would have actually elongated a tail also. Would have given Kohli and Deepak Huda, when they were playing those 15, 16 overs, that much of freedom, mental freedom, to actually still know that there's somebody else apart from them if somebody got an out. So I was of the thought process that both Bishnoi and Chahal is actually a wastage. Chahal is actually a wastage in this team right now with his past performances. Shanton, you keep on saying that he has been economical. He has not been leaking away much runs, but that is not the purpose of having Chahal in the team. The reason why you have a kind of a wrist spinner or somebody of that sort is to pick wickets, which he has not been doing. He picked up one wicket with a beautifully disguised delivery to Fakhar Zaman today, but then again, I mean, he shot all over the place after that. Getting scored for 50 runs, 40, 45 runs every match doesn't augur well. And for the same reason, when you take the opponent spinners, Mohammad Nawaz is just a finger spinner. He bowled his length so brilliantly, varied his pace so very brilliantly, and he had Pant. Pant had I think faced around 7 to 8 deliveries of Mohammad Nawaz. He actually stepped out once trying to hit him and could not. But and when you see Shadab Khan also bowled so brilliantly well. So there's something wrong with the team selection. I would say maybe Akshar Patel could have been better. Then again, but as you correctly pointed out, having Akshar, Deepak, as well as Bishnoi, who has had no match practices coming in as a team, like almost 1/4 of the team coming in new, would have actually made much of a difference. So I thought still continued with Rahul's and continued with your Chahals in the team, but the team was not at all to my liking. We don't have pacers also in this current team. We are badly missing a Mohammad Shami. We are badly missing a Bumrah.
Yeah. See, I think with the kind of or the amount of matches these days are played, injuries are inevitable, right? Gopal, which is the key moment for you in this match? In India-Pakistan match is full of key moments, but if you're going to pick just one, which is that moment for you?
Nawaz's innings, Shanton. I think that was a game changer. You had 10 runs and over. You, I mean, we were actually on the game. Not, I won't say we were extremely ahead in the game, but we were in the game. You still had 10 runs and over to be chased by Pakistan, and I was expecting someone probably at a fall of a wicket. Khurshid was supposed to come in, and then you had Asif, and then you had Nawaz. I mean, Shadab Khan and then Nawaz. So I mean, he came out of syllabus, and that innings was a game changer. It took the game.
That's the turning point for you. Devankur, happy with the way you feel that now Kohli slowly is getting back into the rhythm. Happy with pretty much chanceless, maybe a couple of mistimed shots.
Yes.
But that flick shot with for six, you
50.
think that it's good signs for India moving into the World Cup and the World Cup coming next?
Yes, last two matches he has been exceptional. I wouldn't say brilliant. I mean, he's still, as you have pointed out when we were discussing it, was that he takes it to a different level altogether when he crosses 20 balls that he plays, and his stats show that. He has not been able to emulate that till now, but he is slowly and steadily getting back to form. having that Kohli in this team would actually mean that we would not need Skies or even for that matter Pant up top, because Kohli would give you that freedom. Wherein if he flicks and hits you for sixes, that means Kohli is in his prime form.
Yeah.
The only one shot that is missing right now is getting out to the charging the fast bowlers and hitting it over extra cover for six, which he tried to do today, could not. If that shot comes back, Kohli is definitely in reckoning.
I think one thing that sorry, I'll just add on a statistics to it. When they were showing Kohli's strike rate, it was all fine on against fast bowlers. It's where he struggles against the spinners, and you will see that he missed. That's where he missed time, stepped out, couldn't get to the pitch of the ball, hit straight too long on a couple of missed time shots. Actually, did not go to hand as well. But I think that's
Kohli has a problem with leg spinners. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about spinners, slow left arm off spinners, even Moeen Ali for that matter, Kohli plays them well, has an exceedingly good strike rate. It's only leg spinners that he doesn't read. I don't know how Adam Zampa's, Rashids and all, he cannot read. Even that England wala jo leg spinner, wo bhi Rashid hai na? What's his name?
Adil
Rashid.
Yeah, so Rashid Khan, so he has problems with leg spinners, I agree. But yeah, I mean, slowly and steadily he'll come back to that form. He makes up for the imbalance with his leg spin playing with the rest of the bowlers. So I think he'll definitely be back.
See, one thing on Kohli, Shantan, just to quickly add it out. Of course, the form was there, but the great thing that you can see in Kohli is his running between the wickets. I mean, he converts those ones into twos absolutely brilliantly. Oh, he's electric in his running.
Yeah, and that's where and I think that's where one of the guys who will come very close to him is Rizwan as well. He does that brilliantly. Just have someone whose ability to play shots are so minimum, right? He's mostly a leg side player. He doesn't play a lot of cover drives and all those stuff, but he does that brilliant as well. This loss, opens the Super 4 up beautifully now, right? So Pakistan pretty much is sure to go to the finals because they'll definitely defeat one of Sri Lanka or Afghanistan, if not both. But India now has a couple of pressure games coming up, right? Because Afghanistan can surprise you, and Sri Lanka is coming on the back of a couple of good wins. So what do India need to do differently in their matches in future, Gopal?
See, one thing for sure, Shantan, our bowling needs to improve. I mean, the lineup itself, as Dibanko said, I would probably needs a change. Bishnoi bowled really well. I thought Bishnoi really bowled well, and Chahal doesn't look to me in the form. So I mean, it's time for Chahal to be dropped and maybe bring Ashwin in. Given that you have that bowler, and you also have that luxury as we spoke earlier, to bowl Ashwin in the power play, and given Sri Lanka has so many left-handers, so I'll probably do that change. I won't tickle any other.
I think see, the only thing is, given such a long batting lineup, right? Your number 7 will always be Deepak Hooda. He'll Pant and Hardik Pandyas and Pants will all come before him. And every time you play Deepak Hooda at number 7 or whoever, DK, they'll not face more than 8, 9, 10 deliveries, right? So why not play Ashwin in place of Hooda, where you can at least get 4 overs guaranteed, right? You cannot risk Hooda at times. He will give you pretty much the same thing with the bat because any which ways, the number of balls that they'll face is less. And then I feel Avesh Khan will come back in place of Chahal because, of course, if you have to pick after today's performance, you will keep Bishnoi. He bowls flat, fast, very much like Rashid Khan. Doesn't turn the ball, gets it flat inside. So and we missed a fast bowler. What come what may. We needed one ready. It is not in our option to go for someone else. But Avesh is the only chance. So I think if you ask me, the next change that I see is they'll probably take Ashwin in place of, or continue with Hooda and get Avesh Khan in place of Chahal because I don't see Akshar coming in. Because
so
if
you're saying
Akshar
four pacers. Four pacers, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's
including Hardik and 4.
Correct, because Hardik has always, a combination of Hardik and Avesh, whoever bowls well, right? Because Avesh actually is a frontline bowler, but you never gave him 4 overs because he couldn't, deliver that way. But you do not have that fire punch in your bowling that, someone can really bowl those Yorkers or whatever it is. Again, not someone that I would gladly like in Avesh, but that's the only spot that you have taken, right? You were missing everyone.
Yes.
Even the commentators were talking about Mohammad Shami today.
Mohammad
So you were
Shami, yes.
missing him for sure, right? Okay, great. So I think not a great end to a Sunday, but very much similar to the last week's match where India were actually chasing 7 runs in the last over. They okay. Let me speak about this. How can we forget this, right? You knew that your over rates have to be critical. There are so many instances where you have wasted time. Right when Hardik Pandya came to bowl, there were 3 or 4 ads that came in between, and when even live, he was still pulling his things back, giving it to the umpire, marking his run up, and all those stuff. Rohit almost forgot that his running shot. He was chatting, and there was so much of time that was taken to set the field and all. So I can understand it's a hot environment out there, but and pretty much every team is faltering. Not that it would have saved you the match today, but you have to be careful about that, right? These are small
Absolutely.
things that can lose your final.
Absolutely. I mean, in the upcoming T20 World Cup, I think that is going to be a very, very key moment. I won't be surprised. I mean, if India continues, so India has played, I think, 3 matches right now in Asia Cup, and out of these 3 matches, 2 matches India have considered that one the over rate badly, and then they have considered the one fielder inside the circle. So I mean, that speaks about the consistency in the shortage of the over rate or delaying the match. So I mean that is going to be a very big issue in the T20 World Cup, and you are absolutely right, Shantan. And it can spoil the match. It can that 1 over or 2 overs wherein you are asking your fielders to be in five down. Imagine a case when against an Australia side or a New Zealand side. I mean they're going to smack you all over the park. So that is going to be very difficult.
Okay, thank you both of you. Any final thoughts? If you ask me, I think it was a very closely fought match, but I feel it's
one final thought. Two points. One thing is on the Shantan on the Arshdeep catch. What is your opinion on that?
No, honestly, when I've played cricket, I've dropped catches as well. I've seen so many people drop catches. Of course, it's never a good feeling. No one wants to drop a catch, but that's not the last catch that we will see to get dropped. It was just extremely crucial. In fact, if you ask me, my key moment, I think India would have sealed the match from there. If you look at the scores of Asif Ali, right? He
16.
scored 16 of 8 balls. I think that was the second delivery. He would have gone out for a duck. So 6 balls, 16 runs is what we would have got. 2 new batters as well, of course. So yeah, I don't think we can talk about it. We all have gone through that. It will continue to happen, but I think it's overall the tactics, the small tactics. When the margins are this low, this small, it's those small tactics that lose you the match. The fact that Kohli couldn't accelerate at the end because you didn't have too many batters. The fact that Bhuvi, you gave Bhuvi the 19th over and he come on, he went for 19 runs, right? And damn length ball that you will not even bowl in club cricket. So I think those are the reasons why I think we lost the match today. Devankur, any final thoughts from you?
We'll have to win by
Both
both the
the matches.
matches, of course, by hook or by crook, because we'll have to defeat Pakistan in the finals. That's my final thought. And with that, I think we don't have any other options to be included in the team. Maybe Ashwin gets a look in. That's what I expect him. At least for the matches with Sri Lanka, because they have so many left-handers stacked up. So that's my final thought. And maybe Rohit and Kohli continue with their batting form, so that we get to see much more of them.
Yeah,
even in
absolutely.
Guys, just one point. Once again, the team chasing the match has actually won the match. So that is going to be a very, very crucial thing if this continues in the finals of the match. I mean,
By the way, guys, did you see the toss today? Did you see the toss today?
Yeah, I did. I saw. So he called tails.
And he said heads.
Babar called tails, and ये लगता है पहले दो पे चढ़ा के आया था रवि शास्त्री.
No, that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. But nobody, Andy Pycroft didn't say what came up, whether it was tails or heads. What he understood is nobody knew.
No.
Did Andy Pycroft say it was tails?
No, it came as tails. Yeah. He said because
I never heard it was tails. He just said Babar won, but on basis of what? Because he said tails. Shastri
Babar won.
said
Babar won. Babar won the moment he said tails, and Ravi Shastri heard heads. चीज भी तेरा पद भी मेरा है. चित भी मेरा पट भी मेरा जो भी बोलते हैं, right? So it was
Beautiful
fun.
toss.
It was fun out there. It reminds of the finals. You recall the finals of 2011 World Cup. दो बार टॉस हुआ था.
हाँ, 2 बार
Because,
टॉस हुआ था. Yeah.
तुम सुने नहीं थे या whatever it was, right?
Correct.
So it was fun. But okay, I think a lot to see, a lot of excitement for the next couple of matches. Not going to sleep well today, but still, it's not that bad a match as well. And then the good thing is that you've lost a match which is in the league. You don't want to do this in the
Right.
final. So I'm hoping
Correct.
that India learns and wins, because no one will probably remember what happened in the leagues. They'll remember if you win the champions as well. And I think Rohit has that Midas touch. With that, we end today's episode on Just Another Cricket Podcast. Lot to discuss through the coming week. Very crucial matches coming up. So keep tuning into us, keep listening into us. If you're liking our videos, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe as well. Till then, it's Shantan, Gopal, and Devankush signing off. Have a good night's sleep today. Take care. Bye-bye.
And
Bye-bye.
Take care.